Richard, Pangaea's broadcast center is at the base of the station near the bottom of the ocean. Is that right?
But the lockdown caused all the blast doors to seal. You won't be able to go down until you override them manually.
From up in the tower. I got it.
Okay, I hear you. Look, we're gonna go around. We're gonna go around the other side. I know. I don't want it. Be able to get him out.
Access granted. Access granted.
I don't think you want to do that, Mr. Jensen. Disengage lockdown, and whatever demons this station contains are likely to come crashing out on us.
Afraid to die, Darrow? Or just unwilling to face what you've done?
Oh, I know what I've done, believe me. I take no pleasure in it.
And yet you still did it.
I did what had to be done. 20 years ago, I gave the world augmentation technology. I thought I was giving it a bright future, but instead I gave it the means to destroy itself. No law, no UN regulation was going to fix that.
People are dying out there. Hundreds of thousands of people driven to the brink of insanity because of you.
I had to convince the world. Before today, people believed we should steal fire from the gods and redesign human nature. Human nature is the only thing we have that gives us a moral compass and the social skills we need to live in peace. Destroy it, and you destroy our very species.
Don't paint yourself a savior in this. What you're doing is insane.
Is it? When this is done, the Illuminati won't be able to control men and women like you as they had planned, from the inside out. No one will be able to use the technology I invented to make others into beings they desire. Something we both know has happened already.
You think you're Frankenstein? Killing his own monster?
Actually, Mr. Jensen, I prefer to think of myself as Daedalus, watching helplessly as his child crashes into the sea.
I'm ending this. Now.
You can't. The signal is being generated from the broadcast center at the base of this facility. Panchea's security system has been programmed to protect it, and will kill you before you even get close.
You designed that system, Darrow. You can tell me how to shut it down.
But I won't. You think what I'm doing is extreme. You simply don't understand. For humanity to survive beyond this century, it must abandon ill-conceived notions about transcendence and embrace change. But for that to happen, the hard lesson must be learned. Blood must be shed.
You think humanity needs to be punished? Is that it? Pain is the only thing people understand? By the time this is over, there will be no humanity left to embrace your change. The stress and horror you forced us to live through will have ripped it out of us.
I knew there would be casualties, but I thought, over time, surely the human spirit can recover. Even as I listen to your words, I realize a cruel truth. No one else has the vision to see what I've seen, the will to do what I have done. You're all too weak. Judging but never acting. None of you have the moral courage to see this through to its conclusion. Well, so be it.
You want us to see what you see. Fine. Our humanity is threatened because technology is messing with our minds. But how can we recognize this message when we're grieving over the people you forced us to leave behind? Friends and neighbors, people we care about. Is the image of their murders the vision you want us to have?
I have shown humanity the price of its complacency, the price of pride and arrogance. If people don't have the wherewithal to put aside their emotions and recognize that, I don't give a damn what vision they see. Look at everything that has happened since this technology developed. Search your heart. You know as well as I do that humanity is on a downward spiral, torn apart from within because people like you can't resist the temptation to play God with your own evolution. Can't you see why we must take the temptation away?
You know, I've always wondered about that leg brace of yours. Why the father of augmentation doesn't have the most basic of implants. Doesn't make much sense, really. Unless he's one of the few people genetically incompatible with this technology. Huh. Gotta love the irony in that. It's the kind of irony that can tear you up inside, bit by bit, every day, until you find yourself despising what you're not.
How dare you? You think I've done all this because a fluke of nature robbed me of my chance to become a part of it? I tried everything, damn you! Everything I could think of to change. None of it worked. None of it!
So you had to fix it, didn't you? Take back control, make it like it never was.
Yes! Yes, that's exactly what have I done?
Give me the codes, Darrow. Help me stop this.
You'll still be in danger. Panchea's security system, much of it is self-determining and lethal. But if you succeed, if these codes help you turn off the system and reach the broadcast center, tell the world exactly why I did it. Explain to them about the Illuminati, the biochip, Panchea. Help them understand that the technology I created will not be a future any one of us desires. The codes should help you shut down the Hyron project, Panchea's security system. When you see it, you will understand. There is no room for this technology in the world.
Richard, the lockdown's disengaged. I'm heading back to the hangar to see if those blast doors are open. Have you been able to raise anyone?
I'm picking up several glimmers, but there's too much interference. I think you're on your own, Jensen.
Careful there, Francis. You almost sound like you regret that.
It's in my head!
Don't run! It'll be much easier this way!
Don't run anymore! Run! Run!
Do it quick! I promise!
Don't be different! This is best for both of us!
Stop running! Fuck you! Just like you! Don't be there! Just play along. Come closer! Come closer! Don't! I can't control them anymore! Run! You're gonna pay! Die, you monster! I don't want to have to do this. Don't be difficult. This is best for both of us. Get up! Get up! Come closer! They ruined me. The bastards ruined me. Stop! Stop! Wait, what? No. Okay. Get up! Get up! Get up!
yourself! Who are you? I don't know you!
This is the best for both of us.
Get away! Get away! Ah!
Ow! Ow!
Stand still. I'll do it quick. I promise.
Access granted.
Just get away from me.
Get away! Get away! Ah! Hiding! They're always hiding when I need to see them!
Shadows, stay away! Stay away from me!
Not here!
Don't!
Get away! Get away! They're dead! Go away, Ghost! Go away!
You're the monster!
Go away,
It's your fault!
Ah!
Just leave me alone!
No!
Go on!
Not my hand! Just let me finish! Just let me finish! I gotta talk to them! I gotta stop! Just let me finish! I gotta talk to them!
Not real! Not real! Not real!
I don't want to have to do this!
This is William Taggart. If anyone out there is listening, I'm begging you, help. We've barricaded ourselves inside the core server room. Many of us are wounded. Please, save us. Please, save us.
You're gonna pay!
Don't run! It'd be much easier this way. Just get away from me! Just get away from me! You're the monster! It's your fault! Ow! Play along. I'm gonna kill you all! I'm gonna kill you all!
Get away!
I'm gonna kill you all!
I can't control them anymore! Run! Run! Stop running! How do you expect me to catch you?
Closer! Come closer! You're gonna pay! Don't be difficult!
Access granted.
Stop running! I've got to do this! Don't be difficult. This is the best for both of us. There. Ow. Ow. They ruined me. The bastards ruined me. Just get away from me. Go.
You're gonna pay! I can't control him anymore! Don't be difficult!
Stand still. Stand still. Stop running! Get away! Go!
Access granted. Access granted.
Mr. Jensen, please. Please, put the weapon away. You won't need it. Mr. Jensen, how ironic that you should be the one to save us from the monsters out there.
Monsters, Taggart? You mean people. Augmented people who've lost all control, lost their reason.
Isn't that supposed to be my line? Unfortunately, it seems your esteemed Mr. Darrow decided to appropriate my point and turn it back on me. In madness and in blood. He has betrayed us all.
So you finally admit it. You are part of this, after all. You have been all along.
It would be pointless to deny anything now, but despite what you think of us, we never wanted augmentations outlawed. All we've ever sought is regulation, rules governing how the technology is developed, and laws that ensure it's used for the good of society.
You've raised society above humanity. So who gets to make those rules?
Men with wisdom, strength, and tenacity to know what's right. Proven leaders who distinguish themselves like you, Mr. Jensen. You've certainly earned the right to be one of us. All you have to do is take it.
I'm not looking for glory, Taggart.
Just remember that without control, there's no room for freedom, only anarchy. You were a policeman once. You know the importance of order.
I know there's a difference between order and slavery.
The biochip wasn't supposed to force people to do anything. It merely limited power so that people couldn't go on killing sprees like the ones taking place right now.
Amazing how well that worked out.
Say what you will, but I know that some part of you agrees with me. Absolute freedom is no different than absolute chaos. Society needs boundaries if it has any hope of surviving, and you, Mr. Jensen, can be the one to give us that hope. Shut down Darrow's signal, then help me get a message out saying that an accident at VersaLife contaminated the world's neuropozyne supply.
VersaLife? And what if I decided to blame the Illuminati?
The Illuminati is just a name to get rich financiers to invest more money. Besides, do you really think the world will believe in some 18th century conspiracy theory? Do this for us, and you'll ensure a future for mankind, all of mankind, augmented or otherwise. The future Hugh Darrow offers doesn't allow for both.
Let me think about it. All of this is as much your fault as it is Darrow's. You and your cabal.
Perhaps. But all we sought was a safety valve, Mr. Jensen. A means of making sure the world would never spin out of control. The potential of this technology is great, but, as we've seen, its potential for destruction is even greater.
Your doomsday scenario doesn't impress me. You'd say anything to stay in power.
Do you think humanity will simply police itself? We do not live in some Eden, Mr. Jensen. Or are you that much like your boss, David Serif, who envisions a world where everyone is enhanced and suddenly they all love each other? There will always be a need for methods of control.
And conveniently, in your future, the Illuminati will hold the reins.
Not directly. There are organizations already in place that are better equipped to handle certain things, the UN, for instance.
Reimagined, no doubt.
At least somewhat. And this technology will be a great part of it. Imagine, Mr. Jensen, a world governed by common principles. The end to international power struggles, to terrorism. These things can be accomplished if you join us.
How did you manage to avoid being affected by the signal? Were you in on it with that bastard, Darrow?
Just leave me alone! No, 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 no! No one Don't!
Is anybody there? Can you hear me? I've got survivors here. We've locked ourselves in the machine room. Please! Help us!
Who's there? You shouldn't be here. Only I can hear. Come on. You ain't wheel. Stand still. Stand still. Pat? Oh, that was I. Please. I had to. They would have done it to me, but I... Don't run. It'll be much easier this way. But you ruined it. Don't you see? I need for you to understand! I can't control them anymore! Run! Please come. I'm running! I expect me to catch you! What they tell me? There's nowhere you can go! You should have stayed away!
Oh God! That was too close.
Adam! Oh, thank God you came. I've got wounded here. We'll have to move them first.
We can't move anyone yet. Not until I get to the base of the station and shut down Darrow's broadcast.
What? Why?
The chaos you experienced here, it's everywhere. The Illuminati created a biochip that stops people from using enhanced abilities, and Darrow turned it into a kill switch.
Oh my God, you... We gotta fix this, Adam. If people realize what's happened, if they believe augmentation technology created this chaos, they'll ban human enhancement research forever.
And that would be a bad thing.
Yes, it would! Don't you see what's at stake here? Ever since man first crawled out of that ocean, we've been striving to be more than we are. Augmentation technology is just the latest, greatest step on a very long road. But we've barely scratched the surface of its potential. We can't let fear stop us from continuing.
That's your belief, Serif. Not everyone shares it.
But you do, Adam. I know it. And if we work together, we can really make a difference. We can improve the lives of everyone, but only if we fix this.
Go on.
We'd have to get a message out. After you shut down Hugh's signal. Tell the world. Tell them that Humanity Front did this. That their doctors created a virus that only affects augmented people.
You mean lie?
It'll give us time, son. Time to figure out how to destroy the Illuminati's biochips and move on.
And what about the people who've been hurt by this? Don't they deserve the truth?
I had them. If we want the freedom to become more than we are, we can't be blinded by a misguided morality. Some people will be left behind. It's reality. It's evolution, son.
Right. Evolution based on my DNA.
Please, son, you have to stay with me on this.
I'll think about it.
Access granted. Access granted.
Stop running! How do you expect me to catch you?
What the hell? Oh my God.
Water pressure nominal at 173 psi.
Who am I?
Communications web online.
I feel cold.
Drones 1 through 3 within operational parameters.
I don't remember.
Drone 4 disconnected.
Let me go.
Processing.
Oh God, please help me. I'm scared.
Core temperature stable. Processing.
Zhao, what are you doing?
Connecting to Panchaea's Haron project, Mr. Jensen. The most advanced quantum computer slave to the human brain, and the closest to perfection we'll ever achieve. I'm going to use it to hack Darrow's signal and rework the message to our benefit.
Our benefit? You mean the Illuminati's?
Someone has to override the signal and be the world's savior. And let's be honest, neither of us would trust anyone else to fill that role. Computer, begin EEG sync.
So much pain.
Syncing beta waves at 40 cycles per second.
Sleep, please. Let me sleep.
Incompatible master-slave chain detected. Alert. Unable to transfer control to Alpha Pod.
The system won't recognize my chip.
Neural systems offline. Rerouting control of the gene.
I can't control Iron!
Increasing glutaminase by 32%.
Zhao, get them out of there. I have to reach the control chamber.
No! I can still control! I'm in control!
security alert.
Through the primary control hatch.
Oh, shit.
Alpha pod security in place. To access Alpha pod, purge tertiary pods.
I must be the one to alter the signal. Once I do, the Council will welcome me with open arms.
No! Protect Mother! Stay away! Stay away! The bad man is here. Why does he want to kill us? Kill him.
You have been better served keeping your head down.
Security measures are insufficient.
Once the
Alpha pod security in place. To access Alpha pod, purge tertiary pods.
I must be the one to alter the signal. Once I do, the Council will welcome me with open arms.
No! Protect Mother! Stay away! Stay away! Bad man is here. Why does he want to kill us? Kill him.
You have been better served keeping your head down, Jensen.
I'll do it, Mother. Just don't hurt anymore. Just no more pain. Please keep him away from us. Security measures are insufficient. Insufficient.
Once the weight of their gaze touches you, there is no escape.
Atmospheric pressure rising. Can't breathe. It hurts. It hurts so much. Systems are. My organic systems under stress will acclimatize.
Do you see where honor and ambition lead you? To a whole mile deep in the ocean, about to meet your end. And powerless.
Look at what they've done. I don't like it here. I don't like it. It's so cool down here. Dirk, show us the light, Mother. Where's the light?
I must fight this. I must succeed.
I can't move. Why can't I move? ACHD levels are critically low. How much longer will it be, Mother? I want to go home.
I have no choice but to eliminate you. You have ruined everything.
We've been awake for so long. Tired. System monitors online constantly. There's too much to keep track of. Supplemental diagnostics required before we can sleep.
And system.
Our run is weakening.
Rerouting connection.
Error
in system. Rerouting connection. Reroute complete.
The results of the diagnostics are inconclusive. I feel bad. Vital signs not normal. You're just supposed to be normal.
Get away from me!
Manual override of tertiary pods initiated. Total system purge in effect. Shutting down tertiary stations. Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Electric discharge sequence initialized.
Where did you get that gold? From that fool Darrow. This will not stop me, Jensen. It's happening. Darrow is compromised. No, wait. It's initiating emergency protocols. Ah! You don't know the resources they have at their disposal, Jensen. Despite your special genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time. Initiate dissipation protocol.
Warning. Electrical charge subcritical and rising. Halfway to discharge sequence.
Damn you, Darrow! You betrayed them.
Warning. Primary pod compromised. Secondary security measures activated. Evacuate area.
There are too many contingencies built into the system. You and I have both failed.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the Edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Eliza? What are you doing here?
It is my job to monitor and report on the news, Adam. Before Darrow smothered everything with his signal, the whole world was tuned into this place, including me.
The broadcast. I have to stop it.
I know. Please, come closer. Do you know where we are, Adam? We are at the fulcrum point, when society lies in the balance. Hugh Darrow hoped to tip the scales one way, by telling the world everything you already know. About the biochip, the Illuminati, everything. He believed knowing the truth would convince mankind to abandon research into human enhancement technologies forever.
It would certainly give them reason to fear it.
Indeed. Darrow's confession is ready to send. If you want, I can wideband it across all media as soon as you shut down the signal. Everything you worked so hard to uncover will be exposed. But only if you deactivate the broadcast using this control. However, if you desire, I can alter Darrow's message. Conceal the creation of the biochip while putting in new content.
Content blaming the Humanity Front, like Serif suggested.
The organization has already admitted to harboring terrorists. It would be easy to convince people they turn to biological warfare in a more desperate attempt to get rid of augmented people.
But why? What would that achieve?
In time, it could shift the focus of hatred onto people whose prejudices are seen as too extreme, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution as they desire. But if you want me to perform this edit for you, you must disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Alternatively, Darrow's message can be adjusted to erase all mention of the power group known as the Illuminati. I can report that lack of proper regulation allowed vast quantities of neuropozyne to become contaminated prior to reaching the market.
Taggart's preference. You think the world will buy a made-up story about neuropozyne poisoning?
You might be surprised by what people believe. I can convince them. And having experienced the negative effects of corporate negligence firsthand, a majority of people might force the world to place harsh restrictions on all human enhancement research. But only if you disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Of course, there is another option. This passage leads to Panchaea's pressure regulation controls. Destroy them and the installation will cave in on itself, overwhelmed by the weight of the ocean pressing against it. Everyone inside the structure will die.
That's a solution?
No one will be left to tell the world what happened, Adam. Nobody will be able to spin the story.
Including me.
The choice is yours. Do you believe you have the wisdom to choose an appropriate future for mankind? Or do you trust mankind to find the answers on its own? If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, first-hand experience with corporate negligence on such a grand scale may convince mankind to enact harsh restrictions on human enhancement research. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, the focus of hatred may shift to those responsible for unleashing biological warfare,
leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, the world will be left with questions and may never reach a consensus. Are you sure this is your choice?
Let me think about it.
If you do this, the unadulterated truth in Darrow's confession may well convince mankind to cast all science and technology aside, to ensure that future generations grow up free and whole. Are you sure this is your choice? So be it then.
Albert Einstein said, technological progress is like an axe in the hands of a pathological criminal. Took me a while, but I finally see his point. How often have we chased the dream of progress only to see it perverted? More often than not, haven't the machines we built to improve life shattered the lives of millions? And now we want to turn that dream on ourselves to fundamentally improve who we are. Experience has shown me how dangerous that can be. How many times in the Call of Duty did I almost fall into the trap of taking shortcuts, abusing my abilities or the resources at hand? I resisted. Barely at times, because I valued human lives and considerations. Can I truly despise others who fall? Technology offers us strength. Strength enables dominance, and dominance paves the way for abuse. Darrow understood this. He knew that using technology to become something more than we are risks losing our ability to love, aspire, or make moral choices. The very things that make us human. It also risks giving some men the power to make others what they choose, regardless of the cost to human dignity. The suffering Darrow inflicted is not the end of the world. It is merely the seed for change. And change never comes without pain.